stars. Didn't even get to cross.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Wake and Bake. I'm your host Mike. Today's episode is a news episode, so let's get right into it. This piece comes to me from the Maryland Transportation Authority Police. This apparently happened on January 20th. A person was caught with 4 pounds of marijuana on I-95 South. From what I understand, that is right before the toll tunnel or something like that. I'm not very familiar with Maryland. It was a 27-year-old named Curtis Joyix. I believe that's how his last name is pronounced, out of Eastover, South Carolina. He originally got pulled over for following too closely behind another vehicle. Whenever the police got to him, as they found duffel bags in his trunk with 4 pounds of weed. 4 pounds of weed! That's a lot of weed, man! They said it was an estimated street value of about $10,000. He got charged with possession and possession with intent to distribute, as well as a traffic offense, which I'm assuming is following too closely. Honestly, I don't see why someone would even attempt to do this. Regardless of if you're in a medical state or a recreational state, you know not to cross state lines with marijuana. It is not federally legal. It's not completely legal at all. They did say that we could have medical marijuana on a federal level, but that doesn't mean that you can cross state lines with it. It all goes back down to the state. I'm going to have to say this dude's an idiot. I mean, it sucks that he got caught, and it is probably going for him to sell, honestly. He's an idiot, and unfortunately he got caught, so that's probably going to have a shortage for some people. Our second story actually comes out of Boston, Massachusetts. Apparently a Boston lobbyist is opposing broader marijuana legalization in the state of Massachusetts, specifically in Boston. Apparently they only have one dispensary for medical usage in the city of Boston, and they are trying to push through this initiative that would regulate and tax marijuana like alcohol. And I know a lot of people have some disconcerns about being regulated and taxed like alcohol, that it should not be done that way, that it should be done the dispensary. But that's up in the air. That's up for debate. Everybody has their own opinions. But this guy started up a group called Safe Cannabis Massachusetts. And apparently he's just telling people that they don't need to vote for that, which from my understanding is causing a monopoly. It's already hard enough to get the dispensaries into Boston. There's only one, as I said before, and it's creating a monopoly for this one dispensary to actually operate. And it's a pain in the ass to get it through. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but on the other hand, you're taking away the medication from patients if you get down to the nitty-gritty. That's essentially what it's saying to me, is that you are taking away the ability for these people or person to go and get the medication that they need, because there's only one. They might have to travel all the way across the city. Got to think about it. Our final story, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about, is this representative, Alan Peaky. I believe that's how you say his last name. Don't make fun of me for pronouncing it wrong. He's out of Georgia. He's a Republican representative out of Georgia. He's apparently been a very long time supporter of medical marijuana in the state of Georgia. I'm gonna go ahead and quote something that he said. He said, "Listen, I made a commitment to these families when I got involved, that I was willing to do whatever it took to make sure they had access to a product from a reputable manufacturer. I've made good on that promise. If it involves civil disobedience, it's been absolutely worth it." Now, from the article that I actually have pulled up right here on the laptop, from what I understand, that he has been obtaining medical cannabis from states with applicable legislation and transporting it back to Georgia to his benefiting constituents. Apparently, it's in the metro area of Atlanta. Good on you, man. I mean, hey, we need more people like that, especially here in North Carolina. We're one of the last states that's going to be able to even get legalization. I mean, it's a hard-fought battle. I know there's a lot of us out there that have been fighting for it, me being one of them. I mean, I know I'm just getting started, But I mean, we need support of people like this. We need representatives. I mean, that's just wonderful. I mean, civil disobedience. I mean, Martin Luther King, it says right here, is part of his playbook. Civil disobedience. I mean, sometimes you need to go out there and break a law to show that this is what needs to be done. That doesn't mean that you have to do it. I'm not condoning any type of illegal activity whatsoever. But this dude's freaking awesome, man. I mean, hey, right on. I'm gonna leave you with a quote that he said, and then I really want you guys to ponder on this, especially here in North Carolina. And I want you to get in touch with your representatives and make sure you quote this, that it came from Georgia. He said, "What would I have done if it were my child in that position? If it was your child, would you be willing to go across state lines and get the medical help that your child needs, that your state is depriving your child of?" I mean, it's a no-brainer. Of course you would. Anyways, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Wake and Bake news episode. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. I understand that we had that weather storm come through, the winter weather. So be safe out there and stay stony. Cheers.